Hello everyone, I'm here again for another impromptu live stream because Delphi is my life now. So this just popped up on Court TV, so I thought I'd share it with you. I don't see this on YouTube as of yet. This is just on their website. They'll probably put this up later, if not already, but I did check a couple of 10 minutes ago, and I don't see this little video on their website yet, but it's very interesting. So this is Barbara MacDonald, who, if you're familiar with the Delphi case, you'll know that she's done quite a bit of work on the Delphi case. She works for Court TV. She has the Odin report, so she should know all about Odinism. But she's had an interview with William Lebrato, who is, you will know this, I'm quite sure if you're watching this live stream, one of Richard Allen's his interim attorneys. So she's got an interview with him. I'm going to share some clips, but most of the information is in the article, which I'm going to read. So maybe there's going to be more of this interview. Maybe they'll share on YouTube later. I'm guessing. So we're going to watch some of this video, and it's very, very interesting, but incredibly concerning. William Lebrato is firmly in belief that the Odinism angle that Baldwin and Rosie unearthed in the discovery is real. And he even goes so far as to say they sacrificed one girl and murdered another. So my title is not clickbait. It's not clickbait. This is what he said. So it's shocking. And he's also said that he doesn't believe Richard Allen will get a fair trial. He believes he's 100% innocent. And the way that he's been treated is outrageous. It's horrendous. And he believes he's innocent. Now, this guy is no longer subject to the gag order. This guy is no longer Richard Allen's attorney. So Judge Francis Gull can't do anything about this guy speaking out, and neither can Judge Gull. So let's just give it a couple of minutes before I'm going to start reading first, and then because the article gives you kind of more, and then I'll play the clips of the video that I want to play. But just say a few hellos so that it gives people a chance to come in, because this was very impromptu. This was at 15 minutes notice. Hi, Linda, ST, Holly, Julie, Plant Lady, Teresa, Kelly, still need to get my eyes tested. Jules, Juju. God, my eyes are getting so bad. Dina, Tammy, Golden, Mommy, Shazza, Cheryl, Broken Goth Doll, Journey Takes a Trip, Jojo, Jiu-Jitsu 260. I used to do jiu-jitsu back in the day. Leah, Mary Poser, Cammy, Sweet Peas, Leah. What else have we got? Nursykins, we're all mad here. We certainly are. Lil, Little Witch, Rambling Rome, Jade. Am I going to get to the bottom before I get completely bored with this? Sally or Kelly, I'm not sure how you say that. Nursey. What else have we got? Sandra, I think I am. Mason, Painting Puzzles Princess. Sky Blue, Mandy, CW, Denise, J-Calf, Terzia. Sorry, I'm so bad. I butcher everyone's names so bad. Grey Wolf, Jean, Daniel, Jazz King, Crafty. Ooh, people coming in now, challenging me. Amy Lou. Novelist True Crime. Hello, hello. I am you, by the way. And no, I saw your video from yesterday now. I'm not the one who coined the term Slick Nick. I found it. I can't remember who I got it from, but someone else was calling him Slick Nick before I was, so I can't take the credit for that nickname. But I've nabbed it. Monica 0723 Chinate. Who else? Hiawatha, Kim, Serenity, Lisa. Right, I'm going to stop. Because I know it drives some people mad when we do the roll call. Anyway, right. This is Court TV. The link to this is in the description box already. I will put a link to it in the chat as well if you would prefer to read it on your screen rather than on mine. It's up to you. Just pop this in the chat right now. There we go. All right, so like I said, I'll read the article first and then we'll play the clips because there's more in the article than there is on the video. Okay, so this is written by Barbara MacDonald. As the Indiana Supreme Court heard oral arguments for and against reinstating Richard Allen's original defense team, Allen's then lead defense attorney, Bill Lebrato, or Lebrato, I think it is, but I call him Lebrato, sat in the courtroom texting Allen's wife, Cassie. When I found out that the other attorneys were reinstated, I let her know right away, he tells me by phone the day after the Supreme Court hearing and swift ruling on January 18th. She really wanted to be there. I wasn't completely surprised by yesterday. I didn't really like the way it happened. So that was a quote by Bill. So Bill, like the general public, had to apply for a ticket to be in the hearing at the courtroom inside Indiana's state capitol. He says the tickets given to the Indiana Public Defender Council, which he is a member of, were given to other attorneys. Oh, that's interesting. The High Court's decision came less than 4 hours after the hearing wrapped. So this is a little bit of the interview. So me is Barbara, not me. Okay. So Barbara says, can you share with me how Cassie responded to the court's ruling? Bill said, she didn't comment about the other attorneys being reinstated. She just expressed her gratitude to me, Robert, and Susie. So Susie is their investigator. Barbara says, did you ever talk with Richard Allen about his desire to reinstate Bradley Rosie and Andrew Baldwin? And he says, we never really addressed what he wanted as his lawyers, nor did he ever say, I don't want you guys, I want my own lawyers. Nor did he ever say, I don't want my own lawyers, I want you guys. He was just confused. What we heard from the it was the defences, so Robert Scremin signed his name at the bottom of it, the motion to transfer Richard Allen from Wabash to either Allen County or Adams County jails. The commentary in there was Richard was just confused. He was confused about who his attorneys were, and he didn't really want to speak. Now, he's just like, he's in a world of hurt. So I don't think Richard Allen, honestly, at the moment that Bill and Robert saw him, knew what the hell was going on, especially meeting them in a tiny cell in a kitchen. I mean, it's just bizarre. It's surreal. Okay. I know that probably was Mr. Allen's wishes early on, October 11th, but I can't say that it remained the same up to yesterday. So Lebrato is referencing a type letter dated October 11th, 2023, given to Special Judge the Dishonourable Francis C. Gull. It was signed by Richard Allen and urged Gull not to take action against his appointed public defenders, Rosie and Baldwin. The attorneys had had been notified by Gull the day before to stop working on the case after the leak of sensitive crime scene photos. So we know all this, don't we? We know all this. And a hearing was set for October 19th for Gull in Gull's Allen County Courthouse. A contentious debate in Gull's chambers hours before the hearing. Well, no, it wasn't hours before. It was literally minutes before. They were told just to turn up at 12:30 into her chambers for the hearing to start at 2. And then the hearing was like delayed, like desperately long, massive long delay. She comes out and says that there's been an unexpected turn of events. So it was minutes, not hours. Anyway, so she got Baldwin and Rosie off the case, as we know. So he didn't write the letter. Mr. Rosie prepared the letter and had Mr. Allen sign. Well, of course, because he doesn't have a computer in his cell. Lebrato says he thinks that when Allen found out his attorneys would be off the case, he may not have had the understanding or legal concepts to know he would automatically be appointed other public defenders. He may have been thinking that he and his wife were going to have to hire private attorneys, or he wasn't going to have representation. I don't know. But that's strictly my opinion, my belief, based on things I've seen and heard, he said. Okay. Well. Well. Okay. Rosie and Baldwin previously asserted in court filings that Allen's mental and physical condition had deteriorated after his arrest because of what they called his inhumane treatment in a maximum security prison as he awaited trial. So that was Westville. His mental health and physical health has improved from the very first time I saw him, October 31st, 2023. I mean, at that point, he looked extremely thin, pale, just didn't look good. He has gotten better, Lebrato said. Allen weighed 206 pounds at his arrest, dropping to 122 pounds at his lowest. So the first time Bill Lebrato and Robert Scremin met Richard Allen was at the hearing on the 31st of October. Kyle comes in every night when I'm doing these live streams, and the dogs bark at him. It's like stupid. Okay, so he got down to 122 pounds. So he lost almost half of his body weight. That's crazy. He's still very thin, but he's gained some weight. He's still under 150 pounds. In a motion filed earlier this month to transfer Allen out of prison and house him in a county jail where most pre-trial detainees are held, Lebrato's team asserted that Rosie and Baldwin's ordinance theory of the crime had merit. So this is where it gets really interesting. Rosie and Baldwin previously asserted in court filings that a group of white nationalist ordinists more likely killed Abigail Williams and Liberty German and that law enforcement failed to follow up on potential ordinist suspects. So this is a quote from Lebrato. Honestly, when I first heard about it and that these attorneys were going down this road, I thought it was hocus pocus. I was wrong. I was 100% wrong. It's a real thing, and it's a dangerous thing. Lebrato says Allen has no ties to Wardenism. They searched all of his social media accounts, his computers, his phone, and he had loads of phones. Like, he's Richard Allen's like me. If I completely upended my house, I could find probably an old Nokia phone that I had in 1999. I'm not short of burner phones, me. I'm telling you. I still have an old Nokia phone that works, that I play Snake on. If anybody remembers Snake. So they brought out loads of phones, which looks really dodgy, but it's not. You just don't give your old phones away. Like, I've never given an old phone away, never. Got them all. Okay. So they had lots to go off, and they searched everything, and he's got no links to Odinism. So if you, yeah, of course, he could be meeting them in person and not ever lying anything down in the electronic world. Like, yeah, of course, that could be, but they can't find it. And if the defense can't find it, then sure as eggs is eggs, the prosecution hasn't found it either. Lebrato, who was Alan's lead defense attorney for 79 days. Annie, welcome. Thanks for joining. Welcome to the Secret Agents Club. Thank you, thank you. I put a new video on for members today. Found some old footage. Just go and watch it. It's funny. It's only like less than a minute long. Okay, Lebrato, who was Alan's lead defense attorney for 79 days, admits he hasn't been through all the discovery in the case, but says he too saw evidence of Ordinance prison guards in charge of Alan at the Westville Correctional Facility. Sergeant Randy Jones was one of the ones wearing in Ordinary Trust patches on his Department of Corrections uniform. He was ordered to take that off. He then had a tattoo put on his face, and it's an Odin spear. And he was in charge of watching Mr. Allen while he was at Westville. So they saw the tattoo on his face. Now, if that doesn't say commitment to me, I don't know what does. You know, like if you're a Christian, do you think of having the cross tattooed to your face? I mean, some people do, but it's not very common, is it? Let's face it, it's not very common. You might wear a cross on a chain or something, but you're not going to tattoo it to your face. Most people don't, anyway. When I asked him whether Richard Allen would get a fair trial, he responded, "It's going to be hard. You asked me last night if I thought my client committed this crime, and I do not, but that doesn't matter." Lebrato says he didn't follow the Delphi double murders case before being assigned to it last year. I deal with nothing but murder cases. I was just in the Supreme Court yesterday arguing a quadruple homicide. Get you. I did hear in Allen County that involved a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old child, and then their mother that got no publicity outside of Fort Wayne and Indianapolis. The death penalty qualified Lebrato describes Allen as calm, softly spoken, and totally respectful. Lebrato said he always showed gratitude for those working on his defense. His wife, Cassie, stands by him. Lebrato said, as he questioned the timings of Allen's October 2022 arrest, "There's something to the fact that he's arrested, living in that small town that whole time, 24 days before the new sheriff election. That just bothers me somehow. I mean, it's not just coincidence." So it's not just Andrew Baldwin and Brad Rosie who've made that connection, is it? Lil, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Daniel, you are now a new member, courtesy of Lil. Thank you so much. It's not a coincidence, is it? I mean, coincidences happen. However, in this case, I don't think there's any such thing as coincidences. Lebrato agrees with Rosie and Baldwin that the investigation into the 2017 double murders was flawed, and he says his team had prepared their own petition for a Franks hearing. So they'd prepared their own petition. But they were going to get a Franks hearing. they were going to get one. She told them that if they wanted a Frank searing, they would get them. It's only Rosie and Baldwin who are not allowed one. Ours was similar to theirs, but not the same. There were some differences. Lebrato says he's handled 75 to 100 murder cases and taken 35 to 50 of them to trial, including several death penalty cases. But in his 25-year career, he's never seen a pre-trial defendant treated as harshly as Richard Allen. I would say that I made this point in my video this morning. I made this point last night in my live stream, that Bradley Rosie, Andrew Baldwin, William Lebrato and Robert Scremin must have close to, if not more than, 100 years of collective experience in dealing with clients in jails and prisons. And they have never, 4 of them can't be wrong. They've never seen anything like this, ever. And get this, his hands were handcuffed to some box connected to his chest. I don't even know what that is. So he had a box on his chest and his hands were cuffed to it. I can't even imagine that. I mean, it looked so horribly uncomfortable. I couldn't shake his hand. I couldn't have him sign anything. They refused to unshackle him for our safety. He's 120 pounds. Lebrato said he's confident Allen is in capable hands with Rosie and Baldwin back on the case and said they are both good attorneys. But would I have liked to have stayed on the case? It's a fascinating case, and it's rare that you have such a high-profile case when you honestly think you have an innocent client. So he also really believes Richard Allen's innocent. And he doesn't need to say that now. He's not Richard Allen's attorney anymore. He doesn't need to say that now. Now, maybe I'm crazy thinking that. I don't know, but that's my opinion. It's unclear how Richard Allen was notified of the change to his defence team following the Supreme Court's ruling, but Lebrato said it would be improper for him to visit Allen now. I did draft him a letter just saying this is what's happened and I'm sorry. He probably didn't get it. Has anybody tried writing to Richard Allen? I haven't, but I don't think he's going to be getting his mail. Something tells me. I might be wrong. So Richard Allen is facing 4 counts of murder and 2 counts of kidnapping. You know, those are the new charges. Gull hasn't approved those yet. So technically he's still only facing 2 counts of felony murder. I'm sure she will approve them, though. Okay. In the deaths of Libby and Abby, 8th graders who were walking on Delphi's Morning High Bridge when they were encountered by a man who ordered them down the hill. Video found on Libby's cell phone captured 42 seconds. I thought it was 33 seconds, but I'm not to a second of that encounter. Allen's trial is scheduled to begin October 15th. Well, anything could happen. All right, so that's the article. I thought it was very interesting. Now we're going to listen to a couple of minutes of this. Like I said, I'm playing this from courttv.com. It wasn't on YouTube yet when I checked. But let's play it. Let me know that you can hear this.
I thought it was hocus pocus. I honestly didn't. I'd never heard of it. And the more I got into it, that's a real thing. It is a real thing, and it's scary.
In what way?
Well, I believe they sacrificed a girl and killed another one
There you go. I misquoted him. He said killed another one, not murdered another one. They sacrificed a girl and killed another one. Let's play that again. Play that again. For anybody at the back. Okay, let's play that again. And then I'll let it play up.
I thought it was hocus pocus. I honestly didn't. I'd never heard of it. And the more I got into it, that's a real thing. It is a real thing, and it's scary.
In what way?
Well, I believe they sacrificed a girl and killed another one. Some of the people that live in Delphi were very brazen about their Odinistic beliefs on their Facebook pages and other social media accounts, including the sergeant who was in charge of keeping Mr. Allen safe in Westville.
You described one of those officers that's mentioned in one of Rosie and Baldwin's filings, Sergeant Jones, who was wearing patches that said "In Odin We Trust" on his Department of Corrections uniform.
Yep.
The judge ordered the warden to make them stop. And then what did you notice?
That Mr. Jones had a tattooed under his right eye. From the best we can tell, it looks a lot like Odin's spear. And he had several tattoos on his forearms, including the interlocking triangles that are on his Facebook post. I got to give credit to Mr. Rosie and Mr. Baldwin that, they picked up on that. We saw him, and, confinement officers at the Allen County Jail aren't even allowed to have facial hair, let alone facial tattoos. I was a little miffed that the warden allowed that, or, he even knew what it was.
So here's the thing, right? At Allen County Jail, which I assume that because he's an Allen County public defender, that he'll visit Allen County Jail quite a lot, that they're not even allowed to have facial hair if they work in that jail. Yet at Westville Correctional Facility, a state prison, the warden allows them to have Odin patches. Does he allow just random other patches? Like if you were, let's say, a Metallica fan, could you have a Metallica patch? I had a denim jacket when I was a teenager, and I was into metal and rock music, and I covered it in patches. So if I went and got a job at Westville, could I cover my uniform in metal band patches? Would that be okay? Is it any patch that the warden doesn't have a problem with? Or is it just Odinists? Because I'm wondering whether that guard is also, the warden is also an Odinist. To allow one of their guards to have a facial tattoo and not be told to cover it up while he's working, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Let's see if there's, I think there's some more clips of him. Well, maybe there isn't. I'll play a little bit more though. I'm just going to play what he said again. Just once more. Where did it start there?
I thought it was hocus pocus. I honestly didn't. I'd never heard of it. And the more I got into it, that's a real thing. It is a real thing, and it's scary.
In what way?
Well, I believe they sacrificed a girl and killed another one.
I wonder who that is. I wonder who he knows. And I wonder whether anybody's ever been charged for it. Like, is he talking about this case? Sacrificed a girl and killed another one. So sacrificed one of them and then just killed the other one because she just happened to be there. Or is he talking about two separate girls? So other cases, like two other cases. So sacrificing one girl in one case and then killing another in another case. Or is this another double homicide? What is this? I know he said they. He did. He said they, referring to ordinists. What about the Flora fire? Is that just some good old-fashioned racism? Or is there a deeper, not that killing 4 little girls in a fire isn't bad enough, but is there some deeper meaning behind it? Is there a message beyond good old-fashioned racism? Because that's never been solved either, has it? That's never been solved either. You think it's this case, Purple AJ? Was Slick's dad an ordinist? Don't know. How about Slick himself? Anything's possible. What about Gull? Let's keep going. Play this. Somebody said it's on YouTube. I'll check that in a minute. Is it this same thing or is there more? Because I'm guessing that Barbara MacDonald sat down with him for like a proper interview, not just like a few sound bites. Because this seems mainly Barbara MacDonald talking. I'd like to see this full interview if possible. Gull is vermin, you're right.
Some of the people that live in Delphi were very brazen about their Odinistic beliefs on their Facebook pages and other social media accounts, including the sergeant who was in charge of keeping Mr. Allen safe in Westville.
You described one of those officers that's mentioned in one of Rosie and Baldwin's filings, Sergeant Jones, who was wearing patches that said "In Odin We Trust" on his Department of Corrections uniform.
Yep.
The judge ordered the warden to make them stop. And then what did you notice?
That Mr. Jones had a tattooed under his right eye. From the best we can tell, it looks a lot like Odin's spear. And he had several tattoos on his forearms, including the interlocking triangles that are on his Facebook post. I got to give credit to Mr. Rosie and Mr. Baldwin that, they picked up on that. We saw him and, confinement officers at the Allen County Jail aren't even allowed to have facial hair, let alone facial tattoos. I was a little miffed that the warden allowed that, or, he even knew what it was.
That was one of the things that surprised me, too, is that it was the same guard, according to Bill Lebrato, that had the patch, was told to stop wearing it, and then comes to work with the tattoo under his eye.
Oh, Barbara, as I'm watching that, my jaw dropped. Something else that's interesting that you asked him about, when he's telling you he believes in that legal theory, he wasn't the first attorney to put it forward. As you know, it was the first set of defense attorneys who are now back currently.
Okay, so they're just going to chat. All right, let's go and see what's on YouTube. Okay, so how long is this? 9 minutes. How long is this? 9 minutes. I bet it's the same. I bet it's the same thing. Hold on.
This morning, we're shining a spotlight on the latest developments in the Delphi murder case, focusing on the defense attorneys, as prosecutors want to get Richard Allen's defense attorneys held in contempt. These prosecutors say that Allen's newly reappointed attorney...
More, I think. Hold on. I think it is the same. I think it is the same piece, but you get this little thing here, whatever this is called.
Filings that they believe that white supremacist members of this.
And the more I got in.
Okay, so that's what we've already heard.
Tattoos.
No, it's the same, I think. No, it's the same. It's exactly the same. But isn't that interesting? Maybe Court TV will put more of this interview up later. Hopefully. But he believes the Ordinists sacrificed one girl and killed another. So, what's Gull going to do about that? What is Gull going to do about that? Yeah, there needs to be a trial for there to be a mistrial. Who is protecting them? They're all protecting each other. How high does it go? Probably all the way to the top, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Anybody want to listen to you? Oh, I'm not blind to the Ordinist theory. I think it's got a lot of merit. At 8. Well, 8 your time or 8 my time? Yeah, Vinny will want to talk about this, won't he? Exactly. But then, if it doesn't go to trial, how is Richard Allen ever going to prove his innocence? Because I don't think Slicky Nicky, however much trouble he thinks he's in, is going to dismiss the charges anytime soon. I might be wrong, but the only way Richard Allen is going to get himself out of that 10 by 6 box that he's currently living in is via a trial. Look up Blood Eagle. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They used to murder their enemies doing that. I did a course on Vikings when I was... I did a history degree. So some of you will know this because I've said it before, but I've got like 2 psychology degrees, but I also did a history degree. And I did a course on Norse pagans and the Vikings. So I know a bit. But this Odinism is just an absolute bastardization of Norse, Old Norse. People who genuinely worship the Norse gods are not white supremacists who go about murdering people. That's not what they are. This Odinism is just a bastardization of a religion that's very noble, and it's to disguise racism and violence. It's just to glory themselves in just racism and feeling superior to everyone. And unfortunately, Richard Allen has got tied up in all of this. He's the patsy. He's the patsy. Full interview will be later on Court TV. Did they say that at the end of this? Because I didn't get to the end. Not much Gull can do about it. Exactly. Not much she can do at all. Not at all. Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, it's done that's done to their enemies. I'm going to have to find some... Last time I was in Cornwall, there were some really big gulls, like really leery. They were really rude. These gulls, like stealing stuff off people. I'm going to find some old clips if I've got them, and I'm sure I do have them. I'm going to find them, and I'm going to make a little video about them. maybe just to members, but I'll put some scary music to it. I live about 20 miles from the coast. Well, less as the gull flies. It's about 20 miles by road. And when it's really blustery at the coast, the gulls come inland and they they scare away everything. Like all the birds and everything just do one when the gulls fly in. Is there another bit of this? Because I didn't. Hold on. Yeah. I read it in the article that he believes he's innocent. So that's the bit where it talks about the prison guards. And then she goes back to chatting. Oh, there she is. There she is, look. Oh, there we go. What's this? Oh, there you go. 8. Closing arguments. So the full interview is going to be with Vinny. Well, it's going to be played with Vinny. So I'll leave that one up there so that we can all tune in. So what's 8 central? What does that mean? Like bold 8 and then 7C. What does that mean? 7. Does that mean 7 central or 8 central? Because if it's 7 central, that's going to be 1 a.m. If it's 8 central, that's going to be 2 a.m. So I'll only catch it in the morning, unless I happen to be awake in the night. He absolutely is in danger. And Lebrato is very, very brave for speaking out. Yeah. Yeah. I feel that they'll get pushed to a point where they have to do him in, and they'll make it look like a suicide. Oh, I know he was. Yeah. I know he had a criminal past. It so has. No, I don't think so. It is fair play to him. It's good of him. He could have just walked away. Isn't it interesting that Bradley and Rosie could have just walked away and they didn't? They've stood up and fought. And he's not walking away. He's speaking out. That says a lot to me. It says a lot that these very experienced attorneys will risk their reputations, their careers, their safety, potentially, for Richard Allen, a 5'4" employee of CVS, who is accused of the most horrendous murder that certainly Delphi, Indiana, has ever seen. A horrendous murder. But yet they're all prepared to stand up for Richard Allen. That, to me, speaks volumes. Speaks volumes. And it is, absolutely. So, yeah, very brave. Yeah, absolutely brave. I'm quite far behind the chat now. He does. He does. He so does. And Barbara MacDonald, you know, she's got the Odin report. She turns up to Court TV, interviews with the Odin report. Maybe she'll take it a little bit more seriously now. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Yeah, she probably has. It's very sad. It's incredibly sad. It's just a tragic situation all around for Abby and Libby, for everybody connected with the case, and for, of course, Richard Allen. It's tragic, absolutely tragic. Can't connect all the dots yet. Well, I think the conclusion I'm drawing about this case is that Richard Allen is looking more and more like an innocent person, and Baldwin and Rosie are in the fight of their lives. That's what it looks like to me. And who actually murdered Abby and Libby? If I had to bet, If I had to, if I was forced to bet on it, I would rather put my money on the Ordinists than on Richard Allen. Which Ordinists? I don't know. Because Brad Holder apparently was at work. Patrick Westphal, on the other hand, wasn't at work, and his alibi was his 12-year-old son. And the 12-year-old son told law enforcement that he was at school that day. But Patrick Westphal isn't Bridge Guy. Looks nothing like Bridge Guy. Purple AJ, member for 27 months. Thank you. Which lawyer on TV saying strong case before assigned? Oh, that was Robert Scremin. That was Robert Scremin. He was saying that, yeah, there is an interview of him saying that the ballistics evidence was really strong and that he thought Richard Allen was guilty. So that was the other guy. If they're a French fries, they're ugly. Oh dear. They are. They're really brazen. They are so brazen. Yeah, they do. They were scary. They were scary. Were the Ordinists seen on the trails that day? Well, we don't know. We don't know. Because they might not have taken the trails. They might have snuck down the south side. Because if I wanted to go and commit a double homicide on Mornan High Bridge, 1 minute, on Mornan High Bridge, I would have entered from the south side. That's just me. Yes, Kyle?
I'm going.
Where are you going?
Louise's.
All right. Will you be back or not?
Maybe or maybe not.
All right. You said that last night.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume maybe not.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
I'll definitely be back tomorrow.
All right.
See you in a bit.
All right. See ya. So much for innocent till proven guilty. Yeah. Murder sheet roll like this. Has anybody been listening to the murder sheet? I haven't. I've not listened to them since I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks. I listened to like part of 1 and I thought I can't deal with these guys and I turned off. Oh, thank you. So it's 1 a.m. my time. I probably won't be awake, but if I am, I shall listen to it. Did an Ordinist kill one of the detectives who went to... Well, you mean Greg Ferenczi, don't you? He was actually an FBI agent and he was killed by an ex-prison guard. So, I don't know. Draw your own conclusions. How many people involved have passed away? Oh, I don't know. Well, there's Greg Ferenczi. I don't know. I don't know who else. There has been more. What is 213? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Yeah. He will be. It's another reason why this cannot ever get to trial. Don't know. Oh, yeah, they must do. They absolutely must do. Because, you know, Brad Rosie and Andrew Baldwin, they've put their reputations, their careers on the line, and the safety. And now Bill Lebrato joins them by speaking out. So I believe, I genuinely don't know. I can only speak for me. I can't speak for anyone else in the chat. I don't know, because I haven't seen all of the evidence. However, increasingly, I am believing it's a higher than average chance that he is innocent. And I would be more willing to bet, as I just said, if I had to bet, that it was Odinists that murdered Abby and Libby rather than Richard Allen. But that's just my opinion, and that's based on the information I've got to date. I haven't seen the discovery. And the evidence in that discovery is as always, as is in any case, is open to interpretation. Oh, what is a 213 sacrifice? I do not know. I do not know. If anybody knows, pop it in the chat. Should we do a poll? We'll just do a poll. Do you believe Rick Allen is guilty or innocent? So before I let this go, before I start this poll, it's going to be, do you believe Rick Allen is guilty or innocent? Now, I know that everybody pre-trial is innocent till proven guilty, but just take that away for the moment. Just what do you believe personally, based on the information that you've heard to date? Okay, I'm going to start the poll. I'm going to let that run for 5 minutes. And then I'll call it a day, I think. Oh, she'll be fuming. She'll be fuming. She'll be absolutely furious. It so is. It absolutely is real fuckery. It is. Totally is. Yeah. If Richard Allen winds up dead in his cell, it was not suicide. I'm going to say that right now. It was not self-inflicted. I'm going to say that right now. I'm sure there'll be loads of people that don't know. Like, there's some high-profile cases in my country that I've never heard of. And then I come upon them like years later. And I think, you know, like YouTube will suggest me a documentary. And I'll think, oh, that sounds interesting. And I'll watch it. And it was like, it's in the UK. How do I not know this? Like Shani Warren that we're doing Crime Stories Sunday on Sunday this week. And I only knew about it's a UK case, and apparently it's really well known. And I'd never heard of it. Never heard of it until a few months ago. I saw a documentary. So yeah, you'd be surprised. You know, people who don't really keep up with, you know, crime. Some people don't want to know about crime because it scares them. And some people are just busy. They don't really tune into the news very often. And, you know, it's, unless it happens right on your doorstep, you might never hear about it. Like, there's people in this village who don't know that there was a murder here. And they have no idea. Like, they're shocked if you mention the murder in the woods. They've never heard of it. And this is in this village. Like, fair dues, it was years ago, but not that many years ago. Me too. Yeah, absolutely. I think they have integrity. You know, we look at defense lawyers like, you know, we always side-eye them. How can you defend somebody who's very clearly guilty? You know, you must be getting paid a lot here. But no, these guys truly believe. I believe they truly believe in what they're saying. Do I think it's got something to do with one girl's mother dating a black man? Maybe goes deeper than that. We don't know. But these people, let's put it this way. Not only are these people just really tragic racists, they also like violence. So once somebody suggests something, you know, it's like the hounds are released. You know, they like violence. So they don't need much of an excuse. Some people. People have been murdered for less. You know, people have been murdered for like a tiny amount of money. So just think about it. If you're this like raving racist and you love a little bit of violence and you think you're better than everyone else and you have this superiority complex, and somebody you know in your Ordinance crew suggests that, you know, this woman has been a race traitor and she got a daughter and she deserves, you know, some payback or whatever, then, you know, they're gonna seriously think about it. It's horrific. Look at hate crime worldwide. So yeah, it can happen. A lot of photos and videos of the rally. Well, maybe it's worth looking into. I know. You kind of got to think, well, the justice system is slow and trust in the justice system, but cases like this, I don't know. Creators who are getting close to the truth are bombarded by trolls. I do love a good troll. How's this poll going? I hate it how YouTube puts the poll right at the top. Oh, 88%. think he's innocent. 12% think he's guilty. All right, I'll give it one more minute. So if you want to vote in the poll, you've got one more minute. So we've had 210 votes so far. Yeah, they are drugging him. Well, Elvis Fields put himself on the bridge and said he spit on one of the girls. So I always say to people in my comments, you know, people say, well, he confessed. Richard Allen confessed. Well, so did Elvis Fields. So how do you feel about him? And he's not sitting in a maximum security prison, having lost nearly half of his body weight. It's a good job Richard Allen did have some weight on him when he went into prison, because he'd literally be a skeleton by now if he didn't. Yeah, he was. Maybe it's time to look at him a little bit closer. Or people associated with him, maybe. Anyway, guys, I am like far up the chat now, so I'm never going to be able to catch up. So I am going to just admit defeat and call it a day. I'm going to end this poll. So we've ended with 13% believe he's guilty and 87% believe he's innocent. So obviously that's not representative of the good people of Indiana, but that's who watches my charts. 233 votes. Well, that's weird. It only adds up to 99%. So what's the other 1%? That's a bit weird. But anyway, 87% of you believe Richard Allen's innocent. If innocent, then who? I think I'd be more likely to put my money on several of the Ordinist fraternity in the Delphi area. But as naming names, I can't tell you. Because the names that came up in the memorandum are only just a selection of the people who are Ordinists in that area. It may well be that Todd Click and Ferenczi and Murphy, they were on the right lines. They were looking at the right organisation, if you can call them that. But maybe they hadn't really got to the right person. So think of it like that. That, you know, we're looking at Bridge Guy and we're saying, well, doesn't look like Patrick Westfall, doesn't look like Brad Holder, doesn't really look like Elvis Fields, has a little bit of a look of Richard Allen, yeah, has a little bit of look of Ron Logan. But what if Bridge Guy was somebody that none of us knows or has ever been named? And what if Bridge Guy was just a guy who approached the girls? What if there was several other people waiting down the hill who come in from the south side? And I know it's private property over on the south side, but I'm pretty sure it's very rural. You can sneak about round there and get down that hill without being seen from the south side. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't have walked along the trail for everybody to see me. I would have been in and out with stealth. Yeah, they. Now, Elvis. Sorry, guys. I just kicked myself out. Can you hear me? There we go. I'm back. I kicked myself out. I booted myself. I didn't mean to do that. Elvis Fields said that there was 3 people, like him and presumably 2 others. But there may have been more. We don't know. But all I can tell you, based on what I know right now, is that I'd put my money on Odinists rather than Richard Allen at this moment in time. So anyway, I'm gonna go. Richard Allen will be acquitted. Well, got to get to trial first. Got to get to trial before you can be acquitted. All right, I really am going to go this time. So thank you for joining me. Thank you to the mods as always. Helen's in chat, going back to the start. Thank you for the... Did I have any donations? I don't know that I had any donations, but I did have some new members. So welcome to you all. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. So closing arguments for the rest of the interview. Closing arguments on Court TV, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, or whatever that is in your times, 1 a.m. my time. So I'll watch it before tomorrow's video and I'll give you my thoughts then. All right. Bye, guys.